So Deadpool and Wolverine was my most anticipated movie of the year. And I was really excited to go see this movie. Now, as the year went by and they started to drop trailer after trailer after trailer, I'm not gonna lie, I got super nervous because they're marketing this movie as like the biggest thing to ever come to theaters. There's like 6 trailers out right now. There's a bunch of leaked things coming out. There's a bunch of like images, and then they're like advertising everything. They're doing all kinds of marketing for this movie. And I was like, I'm a little concerned. So I'll be the first to admit that when I went to go see this movie, I was worried that it wasn't gonna live up to the hype. I mean, like they're selling all kinds of merch for this movie. Like they're even selling a Deadpool and a Wolverine controller for Xbox. But I can say that the movie did in fact live up to the hype, and I'm so glad. This is going to be spoiler free. I'm just going to be talking about my initial thoughts of the movie. I'm going to try my best to keep out any kind of spoilers, so when it comes to cameos and stuff, I will not be discussing that in this video. I might end up doing a spoiler review later on, but for right now, it's just going to be spoiler free. So when I mentioned that they showed a lot of trailers for this movie, I do mean that they showed a lot of trailers for this movie. And my biggest concern for going to see this movie was, did I see everything in the trailer and then there's like nothing left for the movie? Now, that is kind of true to an extent. But I can say, luckily, it's only the first like 30 to 40 minutes of the movie. Even though to some people that would still be a lot. And I mean, I guess kind of to me as well, that's still kind of a lot. But luckily, there's still a lot left of this movie that you haven't seen yet. Now, we all know that the majority of the people who are going to see this movie don't really care about the story, but I can say that this has a really good story. But if you aren't caught up on everything else that's already happened in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you might want to go do that before watching this movie. I actually had someone right next to me who was asking about all of these cameos or like when did this scene happen and when did this happen. I'm just like, oh, you've only watched the movies. You should probably go check out some of the TV shows. It actually got bad to the point where she ended up leaving, and I'm a little confused because I don't know how she managed to even get the early screening. But anyways, as far as performances go, Hugh Jackman killed it. Like, he did a really good job of coming back as Wolverine. I know that when a lot of people talk about Hugh Jackman, they just talk about him in a Marvel, but he's made other movies that he's done really good in. And like, Hugh Jackman just has a lot of range when it comes to his acting. Now, Ryan Reynolds. A lot of people are going to hate me when I say this, but Ryan Reynolds is just Ryan Reynolds. He's the same in every single movie that he plays in, but he really kills it as Deadpool. I can admit that. He is what you would imagine Deadpool to be like. And the same thing goes for all the other cast for this movie because everyone did a really good job. I can't think of anyone in this movie where I was just like, oh, they're like not really good for this role. Everyone did a really good job. Even some people who are reprising their role as, you know, some other stuff that has happened in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Without spoiling anything, there are a lot of cameos, like a lot of cameos, and I love it. There are some cameos that a lot of people are going to be able to recognize, and then there are some where if you're not a fan of Marvel, you're just not going to know who they are. Luckily, I read all the comics and I watch all the movies and stuff, so a lot of the stuff and all the jokes and everything I was able to catch on to. Now that I think about it, I don't really have that many negatives when it comes to this movie. There's like one big one, but it kind of got resolved later on in the movie, and that's the pacing. Like, this movie just kind of kicks off, and that's great, you know, that's really good, but the first half of this movie, a lot of stuff is going on to the point where even I was just like, Jesus Christ, like, take a beat, relax. But it was fine. I mean, it was really fun. It was exciting. So that's what a lot of people are coming to this movie to, you know, see. You know, it's Marvel's only movie that's been out this year. So they got to knock it out the park. But what I mean by when I say that the pacing was an issue is that like a lot of things were happening like too quickly to the point to where something happens, then they're like on to the next thing. And it's like, oh, okay. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. My other main issue is the villain. Like, she did an amazing job, but I feel like she's just gonna be kind of forgotten later on down the road. But that's kind of the same as all of the Deadpool movie villains. So, I mean, now as far as ranking this from all the Deadpool movies, I will say that I think I still like the first Deadpool movie better than any of the other ones. This one is a close, this one, Deadpool 3 is tied for first place, I would say. Like, it was a good movie, but I just still feel like the first one just hit differently. I can also say that if you're coming in this to see like a big multiversal type movie, this is honestly how I felt like the Doctor Strange movie was supposed to be like. This is like a Doctor Strange movie. Like, I'll just be honest with you. I expected Doctor Strange to treat their movie like how Deadpool and Wolverine did. And that's kind of upsetting because I still like Doctor Strange. I really did like that movie. But Deadpool just did it better. I will say that I was a little concerned about the director for this movie, but I can honestly say that you killed it. Like, you honestly knocked it out the park. And I know there was some rumors about him directing an Avengers movie. And after seeing this movie, yeah, I want to see that. Like, I want you to direct any kind of Avengers movie. Also, another kind of thing without spoiling anything, but as far as Kang goes, this movie had a really good answer of how to deal with the whole issues with Kang. And I kind of appreciated that because I was like, okay, how are they going to go forward with the whole Kang storyline? And Deadpool kind of answers that for you. But all in all, it was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. But I do plan to see this movie multiple times just because I enjoyed it just that much. So I don't mind watching this multiple times. I end up doing that a lot when it comes to Marvel movies, which is kind of funny. But yeah, no, like, this movie was really good. I highly recommend anybody go out to go see it. As you guys know by now, I don't do a ranking when it comes to my movies. I just let you know, like, is it worth watching? Is it not worth watching? This movie is definitely worth watching. I would probably try to go see it as early as possible if you want to avoid spoilers because they're out there. You know, they may be disguised as something else, but they're out there. Well, guys, let me know about what you guys thought about the movie down in the comments down below if you happen to go see it early. And also, do you plan to go see the movie? Do you not plan to go see the movie? We can discuss that as well. So please, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Sunway review, take me on a